Okay, so getting back into our coverage over X-Men, we do pick up with X-Men Unlimited issue number 3. Now, guys, remember, when it comes to X-Men Unlimited, this was a series that was given to us in the early 1990s, but Marvel kind of used this series as a way to test out new people who were coming into Marvel Comics. So, if you were trying to be a new writer or a new artist in the early 1990s, they gave you this series right here to test out your skills, to test out your work, to kind of see if fans would really like your work or not. Now, if they did, that would be great. You might get more work. If not, sorry, at least you tried. There's the door. Now, when it came to X-Men Unlimited, it only came out every 3 months. So every quarter of the year, you would get a brand new book. 4 books, that was it for the entire year of this series. But when it comes to the first 2 issues of X-Men Unlimited, you could tell that it tied in more to Fatal Attractions. But after issue number 2, issue number 3 is more of like, hey, you know what? Let's use this series as a way to tell different kind of stories about different kind of characters out there in the world of X-Men comics. Like, for example, this one right here is all about Sabretooth. Now, for me personally, this was a very interesting book, but a very good one. And I do say right now, guys, this is one you want to read on your own. But getting into today's storyline, we do pick up with Maverick. Now, we see Maverick is right now in Spain. And matter of fact, he arrives at a church. Now, when he goes inside a church, he finds all these different dead bodies of different people who were part of the church, including the priest. And the priest comes at the very end of the first part of this section. But when you have Maverick walk in and find all these different dead bodies, he can tell that the person who had killed off all these people were doing this out of enjoyment. Like, they enjoyed the whole idea of just killing these people. They took their time just cutting down folks left and right. But either way, while you have Maverick continue on deeper into the church, he finds Sabretooth. Now, this book is also doing a callback to the Sabertooth miniseries that we had covered a while back. And let me explain. You see, in that solo series, we had learned that Sabretooth had a character known as Birdie. Now, Birdie was a psychic, a very powerful one, but she had the ability to go into his mind to kind of ease the things in his mind. You see, when it came to Birdie, she would go into his mind and realize that for Sabretooth, this was a man who had gone through so many horrible things in his life. And so what she would do was go into his mind and block those things in his mind to at least give him the ability to have a somewhat normal day. But the problem was that every other day, or at least the next day, he would begin to remember all those worst things that he had gone through in his life. And of course, it made him go insane. Now, the problem was at the end of the solo series for Sabretooth, Birdie died. And so right now, he no longer has somebody in his corner being able to kind of ease those things in his mind. Now, the reason why you have Maverick here is to bring down Sabretooth. But then Maverick realized that if Sabretooth came here, he must have came here for a purpose. He would not just come to a random church and kill off all these people for the heck of it. There has to be a reason. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, the priest is the main reason why he's here. But the priest is connected to other people. But once you have Maverick lose to Sabretooth, Sabretooth leaves. But it tells Maverick, you need to figure out why I came here and killed off the priest. But now we have to jump over to Germany. Now, when we do, we pick up with a character known as Kurt. Now, when it comes to Kurt, he is a billionaire. But we do see him right now showing off different pictures of different people who were killed off by Sabretooth. Now, here's the catch. Every single person, including him, they're all connected. And the reason why, because there was a job done many years ago to give every single person some kind of power in this world. And so for Kurt, of course, he's now a billionaire. But that kind of power came from that job. But it does seem like right now, for Sabretooth, he's going after all those different people who are all connected. killing them one by one. Now, when it comes to Kurt, we see him talking to a character known as Comcast. Now, when it comes to Comcast, he is also a mutant. He has the ability to store data in his mind. Now, really, who cares? Moving on. When it comes to Comcast, he is a mercenary. And so, of course, is Kurt trying to say, I need your help to protect me from Sabretooth. Now, Comcast, he declines the job very quickly. But he does say, listen, I do know two other people who may be able to help you out when it comes to protecting you from Sabretooth. That will be Wolverine or possibly Maverick. Now, when it comes to Comcast, he realized that there's one more connection to Kurt, and that will be the Yoshida clan. Now, as we all know, that clan is very important because their last leader was Mariko, the lover of Wolverine. And so once you have Comcast realize they're also connected, he's all like, never mind, there's only one person now that you can call, and that will be Maverick. Because for Wolverine, he's trying his best to not get involved with anything when it comes to that clan because of his dead lover. But now we have to transition over to Gambit and also Rogue. Now, these two characters are now coming back from what seems to be a date. But right now, we're seeing Gambit being very scared of the fact that Rogue is driving because I guess she is a horrible driver. But while you have our two heroes on the way back home to the mansion, they don't realize they're being watched by Maverick. And so when they do arrive back at the mansion, they're then confronted by Bishop. Now for Bishop, this man right here is just upset. And the reason why, because these two characters did not truly follow the security protocols when it comes to coming back home from somewhere else outside of the school. But either way, while you had the three characters talking to one another, they are then attacked by good old Maverick. Now, here's the thing. Okay, guys. So for Maverick, he had a game plan, right? His game plan was to sneak into the mansion, grab Logan, and get the heck out of there without anybody noticing because he needs Logan's help to bring down Sabretooth. Now, for me personally, I'm kind of like, why not just go to the door, knock on the door, ask for Logan. If he's there and he says yes, then leave without causing so much commotion. Because while you had Bishop, Gambit, and Rogue outside, he thought, you know what? I gotta make sure these three guys don't see me. So I'm gonna hit them with gas to hopefully knock them out. Now for Rogue and Gambit, they were easily taken out. But for Bishop, he was kind of able to hang on there for just a few more minutes. And so we're kind of left to believe that, you know what, we might get a battle between Bishop and Maverick. What kind of battle would that be like? But you have Charles, Xavier, and Beast arrive. Now, when they do arrive, it's really more of them saying like, hey, listen, Maverick, we know that you're here looking for Logan. We want to tell you that Logan's not here anymore. Like, that dude left here weeks ago. Now, as we all know, when it came to Fatal Attractions, when it came to Magneto, he had ripped off the adamantium off the bones of Wolverine. And so after that, Logan had left. He disappeared. And no one knows where he went to. And so it's now them telling Maverick, like, you came here, seems like, for no good reason. Now, you do have the X-Men go ahead and offer their help. So it will be Beast, Rogue, Gambit, and Bishop helping out Maverick to hunt down Sabretooth and to hopefully stop him. Now, I want to jump back over to Sabretooth, and here's the reason why. Because like I said earlier, for Sabretooth, he's going after different people who are all connected to one another. Now, like I said earlier as well, these people had worked together to gain power across the world. But here comes the big catch. You see, there was somebody in their organization that was going to basically expose everyone to the public. And of course, they wanted that person gone, and they had hired Sabretooth. Now, that small piece of information is going to be very important for later on in this video, but we do pick up with Sabretooth having a meeting with Comcast. Now, when it comes to Comcast, like I said earlier, the dude has the ability to retrieve and store data. And so for Sabretooth, he came over to Comcast to get some information because Sabretooth is still looking for a psychic, somebody to replace Birdie, to do the job on his mind. Now for Comcast, he does know somebody who could possibly help him, a possible psychic that's currently with the Yoshida clan. Now, let's not forget, the Yoshida clan was also part of that huge network of people who were trying to get power. And so when it comes to Sabretooth, he's all like, perfect, because I was heading there next. And so now he's hoping to find a psychic there to help clear his mind. Now, I want to jump back over to the X-Men because right now you have the X-Men on the Blackbird on their way over to where Sabretooth might appear at next. Now, for our heroes, they were able to get that location thanks to Comcast calling them up. But for Beast, he's kind of more of like, listen, I want to have a better understanding of the mind of Sabretooth. And the reason why, because for Sabretooth, they already know that this man's a cold killer. But the problem is, though, this man done a lot of work in the past. But something about this assignment is making Sabretooth go crazy. And the question is right now, why? What happened on this assignment in the past that is currently making him go crazy? Now, for Maverick, he does not care at all. He's kind of like, listen, Sabretooth is a killer that has to be put down. So I don't understand why you're trying your best to understand the guy. When we find him, we have to kill him. But for the X-Men, they don't kill. And that's the problem right there. Because for Maverick, it's all like, listen, y'all may not kill, but I'm telling you right now, if I get the chance to kill Lost Sabretooth, I'm going to take that shot to kill him off. Now, this kind of leads into a conversation where you kind of have Rogue kind of bring up the fact that she was a bad guy, right? And so with Rogue being a bad guy at first and fighting alongside with Mystique, luckily for her, she found the X-Men, or the X-Men took her in, and she turned into a good guy. And the same thing for Gambit. He was a thief, but luckily for him, he found the X-Men, they took him in, and now he's also a good guy. And so it kind of seems like Rogue trying to say that there's a possibility that for Sabretooth, he could turn into a good guy if he gets the right kind of help. But for Maverick, he believes that he already knows the actual future for Sabretooth. Now for Bishop, the guy is from the future. He says, dude, tell you right now, you don't know what could possibly happen in the future. And the reason why? Because the future is always changing. And so with that being said, you don't know technically when it comes to Sabretooth, he could be a good guy or not. But let's jump back over to Kurt. Now, guys, remember, Kurt was the guy who basically told us what's happening right now to all those different people across the world who are all connected to one another, including him. Because to Kurt, they all did that job together and they all hired Sabretooth together. But either way, he knew that sooner or later, he would be the next target. Now, he tried to hire Maverick. Unfortunately, Maverick did not answer the call. But luckily for Kurt, you had Comcast call Maverick, who was with the X-Men. And so now you have Rogue, Bishop, and also Gambit going over the home of Kurt to hopefully protect him from Sabretooth. But the problem is when they do arrive and when they find Kurt, Kurt is already dead. The dude died that quick. And the reason why? Because Sabretooth is already there. And that leads into a battle between our heroes and Sabretooth. Now, this battle is very short-lived because you do have Sabretooth being able to get the jump on Rogue and also Gambit. But after doing that, he's then able to take them out very easily. Just like that, bam, bam, 2 of the 3 heroes are taken down. Now, for Bishop, he's the last man standing, and he has the shot. But the problem is you have Sabretooth use Rogue as a shield, as a way to protect him from Bishop. Now, for Bishop, he kind of believes that he has the shot, but he does not take it, allowing Sabretooth to get away. Now, for Sabretooth, he does tell Bishop one thing. He kind of wishes that Bishop did take the shot and hopefully did kill him off. But either way, he was now able to get away and go on to his next target. But now we have to jump over to Beast and also Maverick as they arrive in Japan. Now, when they do arrive in Japan, they head straight over to the home of the Yoshida clan. Now, the Yoshida clan, like I said earlier, was being led by Mariko. Now, for Mariko, the ex-lover of Wolverine, her main goal was to turn the clan around into a force of good like it was back in the old days. But unfortunately, her father led the clan into a period of time where it was part of the criminal underworld of Japan. Either way, after her death, you had her half brother step in, and that would be the Silver Samurai. So he's now in charge of the entire clan. Now, for Silver Samurai, he's kind of wondering why in the world is Beast here to help protect him and his clan as well. Because for Silver Samurai, the X-Men are his enemies. But for Beast, it's kind of like, listen, you are a mutant who needs our help. But also, we are a team of mutants that deal with big mutant problems, like Sabretooth. And that's why we're here, to help you no matter what, even though you are our enemy. But then you have Sabretooth arrive at the home of the clan. Now, once he does arrive, we already know why he's here for. He's here for that psychic. And so you have Sabretooth being able to find the psychic the clan was trying to protect. But here comes the big catch. You see, the psychic is an old man whose mind has been completely destroyed. And here's the reason why. You see, we got to go back to when the bombs went off in Hiroshima. Because when those bombs went off, a lot of people died. But for this old man, his mind was connected to all those people's minds. And so he felt their deaths. And so that's why his mind is broken. Now, things get even crazier because you didn't have Sabretooth grab the old man. And when he does, the old man is able to connect his mind to everybody's mind in the room. But everyone's mind goes into the mind of Sabretooth to understand why is he on this huge quest to go after people from his past. And so we kind of find out that on that last mission where he had to go over to Japan to get the person who was trying to expose the other people who were trying to gain power, he was able to kill off that guy, but also his wife. But no one told Sabretooth that there would be a child there. And so Sabretooth, unfortunately, had to kill off the child as well. And so ever since then, that has been haunting his mind. And Birdie was able to kind of lock that pain away. But with her being gone, that pain keeps coming back over and over and over again. Now, once you have our heroes being able to leave his mind, Sabretooth is already gone. But the X-Men, they know where he's going next. Because before you had Beast dive into the mind of Sabretooth, Beast said, we also have somebody who is a psychic. We have three of them, Jean Grey, Psylocke, Charles Xavier. And so once you had Sabretooth being able to regain control of his body, he left Japan and began to head straight over to where Charles Xavier is at. And so when we jump over to Sabretooth, we see him arriving at the home of Charles Xavier, trying to sneak into the home to get the jump on Charles. But the thing is, Charles knew that, well, Sabretooth was coming. And so you have Charles being able to use his powers on Sabretooth to keep him away. Now, unfortunately for Sabretooth, the X-Men were there as well, and they were able to kind of jump into the battle as well. But the problem is that as the battle goes on, you have Sabretooth being able to once again get a hold of somebody, this time Charles Xavier, and make him a hostage. Honestly, with Charles Xavier being a hostage, it does not last that long because you do have Bishop being able to get the shot on Sabretooth. And with that shot, he was able to take Sabretooth down. But here's the thing. For Charles Xavier, he wants to help out Sabretooth. He wants to make him better. And remember, the only way to do that is to ease the pain in the mind of Sabretooth. And so with Birdie gone, he has been looking for a psychic. And right now, he has one. Charles Xavier. And so you have Charles tell the team like, hey, listen, I'm going into his mind to hopefully help him. And so just like that, we see Charles go to the mind of Sabretooth. Now, for me personally, I love the idea of Charles Xavier going into the mind of Sabretooth. And let me explain why here, guys, because once you have Charles inside the mind, he looks around and he realizes that Sabretooth does remember every single person that he has killed over the years. And the thing is, for Charles and us fans and most people in Marvel Comics, they believe that for Sabretooth, he just kills to kill. Like he loves the idea of killing people and he tries his best to not think about the people that he had killed. But it's Charles saying that's not completely true. For Sabretooth, he does remember every single person that he had killed, and it really does bother him a whole lot. But either way, for Charles, he realized that to help out Sabretooth, he has to go deeper to the mind of Sabretooth, find the source of all that pain and anger in the mind of Sabretooth. And so we get reminded that for Sabretooth, when he was a young boy, when his powers first manifested, right, he gained fangs and claws. Now, we do learn later on in X-Men comics that he did kill his brother over a cookie, but it was an accident. But when it came to his father, he hated what his son turned into. And so he threw Sabretooth into the basement of their home. Now, when he did that, he was kind of like, no, you're going to stay down there. And every once a day or two, I might try to throw some kind of animal down there for you to kill so that you'll be able to survive. You have to kill that animal to get the food that you need to eat to survive. And so it's the book telling us that is the reason why he's the way he is, because he had to kill over and over and over again. But at the same time, that anger was growing inside his body towards his father, the hatred towards his father. But either way, this is the source of all that anger. This is the source for all that bloodthirsty behavior he shows in all different Marvel comics. It's all because of this right here. Now, for Charles, he realized what Brody was doing was making him forget about these things to help ease his mind. But for Charles, he says that was the wrong move. You need those things. You need this part of your life right here to be remembered so that you are able to properly heal up, to become the man that you want to be. And so this leads into the ending of the book where we do learn that for Sabretooth, he's going to be at the school of Charles Xavier as a prisoner, but at the same time going through a therapy session. Because right now you have Charles saying, listen here, you're going to stay in here in the danger room and go through this projection of the boathouse. But we're going to work day in and day out to properly heal your mind. And it kind of works out because with Wolverine now being gone, you won't have Wolverine there trying to kill off Sabretooth. So allowing Charles a chance to actually try to heal the mind of Sabretooth. But this is where we're going to end today's comic book video. So please leave me a like down below and subscribe. But guys, see y'all next time. Later.